Okay, so today we're going to continue to talk about systems of linear equations. And today we're going to review our homework, and then we're going to do a little bit of like harder problems. They're not going to be that hard, they're just word problems. And then we'll do a practice activity that is something that we've never done before, and it's going to be fun if you listen to the instructions because it might be a little confusing. And then we do have a Kahoot, but it's likely that we won't get to it. It's just if we somehow finish really fast, then we'll do it. So first we'll do the homework review. Okay, so I guess I can do this one. Wait, can you share the link?
Yeah, I'm getting it right now.
Okay, solve the following system of equations. So somebody tell me, like you can unmute or say it in the chat, which method should I use? Like elimination, substitution, equal value, graphing, which one? If you don't know, you can just take a guess.
I think this one was substitution.
You're right. Because we have this y equals thing, and it'd be really easy to use substitution on this one. So I'm gonna do, since y equals x minus 1, I'm gonna make this y x minus 1 instead of y. And then minus 5x equals 9. Now I'm just gonna distribute 2x minus 2 minus 5x equals 9. I'm gonna combine like terms, negative 3x minus 2 equals 9. Add 2 to both sides, which gives me negative 3x equals 11. So x must equal negative 11 over 3. Well, I look at my choices and I can cross out this one, but all of these have negative 11 over 3 as our x. So we have to actually find our y. And it's actually pretty simple. I'm just going to use this equation. Then y equals x, which is negative 11 over 3, minus 1. Well, that just equals negative 14 over 3. So this is our answer, A. Any questions about this one? Okay, let's go to the next one.
All right, so number 2, I think Kayang basically covered this one. So she used the substitution method, but just to quickly go over y, you can see that you have y equals x minus 1. So you can easily just substitute x minus 1 in for y for this equation right here. And that's why we would use substitution. But I'm sure we probably already got that, so let's go to the next one. Which method is best to solve the following system of equations? So you have 2x plus 8y equals 90, 3x minus 8y equals 50. Does anyone have any ideas that they would like to share?
I think this one was elimination.
Yeah, and then why would you say it was elimination? You're correct.
Because you can get rid of both the 8y's because there are two 8y's. So and then you can add the 2x and 3x together. So it's 5y equals 140. No, or 5x, my bad.
Yeah, so you saw that you have 8y and then negative 8y, or like minus 8y, so you can easily get rid of them if you use the elimination method. That's exactly right. So we're going to just basically add these equations together, and 2x plus 3x equals 5x, 8y minus 8y equals, they just cancel each other out, and then 90 plus 50 equals 140. So you could continue on and solve that. But yeah, elimination would be the right answer here. Good job.
Okay, anybody have any questions about just systems of equations in general or the homework?
Did you do equal value method?
So equal value method, you wouldn't use it for this problem, but an example where you would use it is like if I have y equals some expression and another equation that says y equals some expression. So I don't know, it could be like 2x minus 1, 3x plus 5. If they're both in y equals format, then you would use equal value method.
Would it be the true if it was still x equals?
If they were both x equals, I guess you could do it like that, but equal value method is not for y equals something because this is like a popular way to write linear equations, so that's why you would use this method.
And what about how would you use graphing?
So graphing, you don't need to use it that often. It's easy to see like and visualize, but if I'm actually just solving a problem like this, then I probably wouldn't use graphing. But one situation where I would use it is, let's see. Let's say I'm given 3 equations. I don't know, something like this. And I'm trying to find the area of the shape that these lines make. Then it's like geometry like this, then I would like graph it. So they would make this triangle. And then I can find the points of the shape or find the area of the shape. But graphing isn't used that often, so you would just use probably substitution, elimination, and sometimes equal value method.
Okay, thank you.
Good question. Any other questions? Okay, then let's go back here. So just a quick review before we dive into word problems, which are a little more complicated. Systems of equations are 2 or more equations that share common variables, and we can solve them using 4 methods. Let's talk about substitution, which is where a variable equals an expression. Elimination, where you change the equation somehow and then add or subtract them. Equal value method, where it's y equals something and then y equals something else. And graphing sometimes if you want to visualize it. And as we just saw in the homework review, oftentimes there will be a way that is easiest for each problem. That will be most efficient.
All right, so today we're going to see some word problems where you have to use systems of equations to solve them. And the key to getting the right answer is to first set up the correct equations. So they have to match whatever situation is presented in the word problem. And for some strategies to do that, first you need to create a variable to symbolize like the unknown values. Like say the question is asking you to find how old someone is, you can call that variable x or something. Then you need to write equations that relate the variables. And just remember that if you're solving for like 2 different things, then you're going to need at least 2 different equations. Then just solve them like you would a normal system of equations using the strategies that Kayang mentioned.
Oh wait, why isn't it doing the transitions? I think. Okay, well we don't. It's okay if you like see the answer because we're gonna do it together anyways. Oh, should I do this?
Sure, I can do the next one.
Okay, so first let's try this pretty simple one. So together, Amy and Betty have 20 apples, and Amy has 3 times the number of apples that Betty has. And how many more apples than Betty does Amy have? So this might sound a little confusing, but let's try to express this using math. So I'm going to have two variables, and I'm going to make A, that's the number of apples that Amy has. Number of apples for Amy. Okay, and then I have B, and that's gonna be the number of apples that Betty has. And it's good to use variables that are like, that would help you know what's going on, like A and B. Amy is like, it starts with A, Betty starts with B, so it's a little easier for me to understand my equations when I write them. So first, let's read this first sentence. Together, Amy and Betty have 20 apples. Okay, so we know that A is the number of apples that Amy has, B is the number of apples that Betty has. So I think I can write that A plus B equals 20. The number of apples that Amy has plus the number of apples that Betty has should equal 20, because that's what the question says. Now let's read the next sentence. So, Amy has 3 times the number of apples that Betty has. Okay, so Amy has 3 times the number of apples that Betty has. So this would be my equation, because the number of apples for Amy is 3 times the number of apples for Betty. Now I'm asked, how many more apples than Betty does Amy have? So if I know how many apples both of them have, then I can just like subtract. So now I can just solve this. And I guess I could use substitution because I have it in the format A equals something. So I put this into here. And I would have 3b plus b equals 20. Uh-oh. No, that's not what I want. Okay. So 4b equals 20. And b would equal 5. Bless you. I think somebody just sneezed. So now, using this, I can find the number of apples that Amy has. And since a plus 5 equals 20, Amy must have 15 apples. So how many more apples than Betty does Amy have? Well, Amy has 15, Betty has 5, so that means Amy has 10 more apples, which is our answer. So this, if you don't understand this one, it'd be hard to understand everything else. So if you have any questions, then now would be like a really good time to ask. Okay, so I'm going to assume everybody's following along. Let's go to our next example.
Okay, so at a party, Ted's age is 15 years less than twice Sally's age. The sum of their ages is 54. How old is Ted? So here, we're going to set up two variables because there's two things we don't know. And someone type in the chat or say out loud what two variables you want to create for this problem.
Ted and Sally and Ted.
Yeah. So we would create one variable for Ted's age. We can call that T, and then one variable for Sally's age. We can call that S, right? So obviously, like Kayang said, it helps to make variables that kind of represent what that start with what they're trying to represent. And now let's take a look at the second sentence in this problem. The sum of their ages is 54. So how can you write an equation using 54 and the two variables we had? Does anyone know?
I know.
Yeah, go ahead and say.
So you can make it T plus S equals 54.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay.
So t plus s equals 54 because the sum of their ages is 54. And we already know that t is Ted's age, s is Sally's age. That's perfect. And now we have the second one. At a party, Ted's age is 15 years less than twice Sally's age. So this one is a bit tricky. You've got to make sure you don't get it wrong, since it's easy to misread this. But does anyone want to give this equation a try?
S. Actually, I don't know.
25 equals s plus s minus t. S minus t divided. 54 okay. 54 equals s plus s divided by 2 plus 15.
Okay, so you're very close. I think you're trying to kind of skip the step in the middle. You're actually trying to combine the first equation we made with the other one. But let's take a step back and just focus on Ted's age is 15 years less than twice Sally's age. So to express this, how would you express 15 years less than twice Sally's age? Well,
Can I
twice
try?
Sally's age. Yeah, sure, go ahead.
So s times 2 minus t equals Ted's age.
Minus t?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. S times 2 minus 15 equals Ted's age.
Great.
Yes, exactly. That's perfect. So Kayang will write that. So 2s minus 15 equals Ted's age. Does everyone see why that equation works to represent the first sentence? If you don't, you can ask and then I'll explain it again.
Oh, the total being Ted's age.
Mhm.
Twice of Sally minus 15 equals Ted.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that was a
And
good sentence.
yeah, for sure. So you've got to be very careful when doing these types of word problems. And now we can use our system of equation strategies to solve. So which method should we use? Should we use elimination, substitution, or equal value method here? You can feel free to say it out loud. There you can use elimination, but I think there is an easier way to do it.
Substitution.
Yeah, substitution would probably be easier because you have equals t right there. So you can just replace t with 2s minus 15. And then your equation becomes 2s minus 15 plus s equals 54. Now you can simply solve for s. So if you combine like terms, 2s plus s is 3s, and then you can also add 15 to both sides. And then that gets you 3s equals 69. Now you divide both sides by 3 to get s equals 23. So now that s is 23, how are we going to find t? Who knows how we're going to find t?
We take t and we minus it by s.
Well, you're close. So we can just use one of the equations we had before. Remember, t plus s equals 54.
I
And we know
know.
what s is now. Yep, go ahead.
So you could double 23. You could double Sally and then subtract 15.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you can
that
also
could be
use
true.
that equation.
So let's do it that way then.
23
So
times 2.
2 times 23 would be 46, and then 46 minus,
31.
yeah, 31. Like you can see.
23 plus 31 equals 54.
Yeah, and then you can also check by using the other equation. So you know your answer is going to be correct. So great job, everyone.
Also, it says it a equals. It says the answer right there. So
Yeah, I know.
Let's pretend that wasn't there.
But it's okay right now since we're practicing.
Mhm.
Okay, so now that we've done some word problems, we're going to basically prepare for our practice activity. And this is very new, so we've never done this in this class at least. So first, we're going to have a practice for the practice activity. And this is going to be not related to math at all. And it's just a little fun thing that we can do. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to this Jamboard that we give you to the link to, and you're going to go to one of the slides and then choose one of the 3 sections, then like scribble something in there so that other people know it's taken, or you could write your name. So this is mine. Nobody come here. Once everybody has one, then what we're gonna do is there's one sentence in each box, right? So first, when we tell you to, you're gonna add a sentence to this story that is starting. So mine says, "Why is there a rabbit in my room?" Then I could ask like, I don't know, I could do like, I woke up and my cat was hissing, so I went to the bathroom and there was a rabbit. Blah, 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 blah. Then when we tell you to do so, so don't go off and do it on your own. When we tell you, you're gonna go to the next slide. So I'm on slide 3 right now. I don't know if you can see it. I will go to slide 4. Then on here, hopefully, somebody would have already written like another sentence. Blah, 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 blah. So then I'm gonna read the 2 sentences that were already written and add another sentence to the story. I swear I saw a ghost in my backyard, but no one will believe me. And then maybe the next sentence said, I saw it on the way trick-or-treating. And then I can be like, okay. I said hi to the ghost. So now a story is forming, right? So we're gonna keep doing that until we tell you to stop. And so does everybody understand so far? If somebody doesn't, just tell me.
I have a question. What is the purpose of this?
So it is just for fun, this part, but we are going to do the same concept, but with math after this. And it might be hard to understand how to do this with math if we don't tell you how to do it with something else first. So this is just a little fun activity that we're gonna do to help us get ready.
Sure.
Okay, so hopefully everybody understands so far. So, okay, you
So
can
should
send
I
the
put
link
the
now.
link?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
So-
everybody go to one of the sections, and I guess you can just write your name in it.
Yep.
So you can do the ones I scribbled on too.
I'm erasing the scribbles. Alright. And then so
That's
when
somebody
we're
else.
switching, so just to clarify, when we're switching, you move to like the next one over. So move to the right, and then whoever's at the end on the last slide with the sentence, you just go back to the beginning.
And one thing that you should keep in mind, first everybody choose your section, and then I'll tell you, so that it's not too much information at once. So I should have like 12 people on here, and there's only 8 right now. So I'm gonna wait for more people to come.
I'm still a little confused. So what do we do when we come here?
So, wait, did you already like choose one of the sections?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll tell you. Oh no, what happened here? Wait, is it supposed to be like this?
It looks fine for me. I think it might be lag from your computer.
Oh, okay. So, and there should be like red ones on the side too. Anyways, so once you go here, then you're gonna write, when we tell you to, write another sentence to the story. And then when we tell you to switch, you go to the next slide. There's 3 sections on each slide, right? But you're only gonna go to your section. So if I started on this red one, then I'll go to the next red one. And then I'll add another sentence to the story that's for me.
Okay.
So, has everybody chosen one? There's only 9 people on the Jamboard and there's 12 people in the meeting.
2 of them are us.
Yeah, but there should be still like,
Yeah. Should we choose one? I'll choose one. I'm gonna choose It's Your Grandma's Funeral and You Hear Noises from the Casket.
okay. So, has everybody chosen something? Okay, I think 2 of them are empty, so I'll do both of them.
Okay.
I'm just gonna write K. Okay, so now that everybody's on here, you're going to write another sentence to the story. I see a couple of you have already done it. So for mine, let's say, why is there a rabbit in my room? So I'm gonna add another sentence and like, I don't know, it suddenly darted out of the bathroom into my room. So something like that.
It's probably a good idea to use a text box because otherwise a sticky note just takes up too much space. And you want to leave room for other people to write. So just think of something that could logically come after your first sentence.
So once you're done, well, once I think most people are done, then we will move on. But nobody do anything after you write your first sentence, okay? So let's see, how's everybody written their thing?
The gorilla beat me up. I love that.
Okay, I think most people are done. So once you are finished writing your sentence, you're gonna go to the next slide, okay? So go to the next slide. And one thing that you should keep in mind is, so for example, let's see. I see Anushka has done hers. So I'm guessing, wait, that wouldn't be possible, would it?
Hmm.
So you don't add a sentence to a random slide. So let's say I'm doing this one. I'm on slide 3 and mine was the red one section. Then I go to the next slide. Then I add a sentence to the red one section of the next slide. So for example, let's see, Diraj, you would, okay, yours is kind of hard example. Let's do 3. Okay, so you are on the blue 2 section of slide 1. Now you're gonna go to the next slide and add a sentence to the blue 2 section of here. So 3 would add a sentence here somewhere. Here somewhere. So that's how it works. Does that make sense? Is anybody confused? And you can write your name if you want to, but you don't have to. Okay, if you're done, you can go to the next one. I don't know why the first one has like a lot of different sentences. It shouldn't, but
Interestingly, can I buy a house? There's like 3 different endings to what she did with the money.
yeah. So right now, I guess it's okay that you're going to some random slide, but technically you're not supposed to.
Are we supposed to go to the slide like right next to ours?
So you're supposed to go to the next slide,
Oh,
like
okay, because
not
I
the
did that
section
for
next.
the. I did the one.
Hmm?
I did that for the.
Wait, what? I'm confused. So like, you would go to the next one, then write a sentence here.
Yeah, I did that. So
Okay, that's good. So and you can go to the next one again if you're done. But once you get back to your own slide, like the slide you started at, then you should stop and you can say something in the chat that you like are done. Okay, so I see some people getting done, just good.
Yay, since no one can move, I won't have school. That's the first thing you think of.
Huh?
Because if everyone's frozen, the world is kind of like done for. And I love it. The first thing the person thinks about is school.
Oh, I don't see that one, but
It's on slide 3. And then we're talking about how there's no sandwiches left, which is such a tragedy.
That's so funny. Okay. I'm gonna assume that most people are done. I don't see anybody actively writing. So if you are done, please say something in the chat, just so that I can know that we can move on. Okay, so I see 3 people done now. Okay, more people are getting done. Done, 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 Dune, and done. Dawn. Okay, so most people are done. Done. Okay, so now, since we do have a little bit of time, everybody's gonna read the one they started at. So, like, if you started on the Jimmy hated school more than anything, you would read your entire story. So, who wants? Okay, the person that did the rock gorilla one should start.
Me. All right. Okay. So I shouldn't have thrown a rock at I shouldn't have thrown a rock at the gorillas. Mine was the gorillas beat me up after I threw the rock I threw the rock at him. I stole his bananas and then he got mad. Anushka's was because he ate and pooped the rock.
Interesting.
And then Nameless was I was suddenly surrounded by a mob of angry gorillas that had rocks of their own.
So this is a cliffhanger story. Okay. Who did Jimmy?
Me.
Okay.
I could. You couldn't wait to go home and play video games.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Oh, you should read the whole thing though, so that we can listen to the amazing story.
He pretended that he was asleep so that he could play his new one. It was called Dungeons and Dragons. But the new video game turned out to be a scam.
Oh, that's such a sad story. Okay, who did the It Was a Dark and Stormy Night?
This one's special.
That was me. It was a
Okay,
dark and
read it.
stormy night. It boomed and I peed myself. I wanted to die
Oh.
of embarrassment.
So
Right.
it's like a short story fiction. Okay, let's do this one. This one was very interesting. The letter with,
I did that one. She opened
okay.
the letter and found that she just won $100,000. And I read that she faints and drops to the wooden floor with an astonishing thud. And someone else wrote, and she bet it all away. Someone else wrote that she started Squid Game.
Interesting. So it has 2 endings. Okay. Somebody do the roller coaster one. Whose was that? I think it says it was, I don't know how to say this. Sharon? Okay.
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. Do you want to read it for us?
Wait 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, so the roller coaster was suddenly stopped and we were stuck upside down. I screamed. Then I fell out of the roller coaster. I immediately grabbed onto the railing and swung across the seat. My head split open on the concrete below. I was bleeding on the floor.
Oh, well, that's a good dark turn. I thought you were gonna survive since you held onto the railing, but I guess you either got severely injured or died. Okay, who did the icy fingers?
Me. Icy fingers suddenly gripped my arm. I turned around, but no one was there. Then I felt fingers grab my throat and squeeze.
Oh, well, that's a very
Lots of-
terrifying story.
Lots of death happening here.
Yes, interesting. Okay. I think this one was mine. I did two.
Yeah, I think
So, why is there a rabbit in my room? The rabbit suddenly ran out of my bathroom into my room. I jumped onto my bed and I am sure its spring broke. The rabbit bit me and I hollered loud enough to crack the walls. My parents came into my room, but then they turned into rabbits.
oh
Dun,
no.
dun, dun. Okay. Who did the subway one? It looks very full.
It was me.
Okay, you want to read it for us?
Sure. Okay, let me go to it. So I was ordering Subway when suddenly everyone around me stopped. They were all frozen in place. Everyone except me. I rubbed my eyes, and sure enough, everyone was still standing in their awkward positions. I touched them, but they had not moved, as if it was they were frozen. My first thought was, yay, since no one can move, I won't have to go to school. The food disappeared. There were no sandwiches left in the refrigerator. There was no sandwiches left in the refrigerator since no one can make them for me. This was a tragedy.
It's a very interesting and tragic
love
story without sandwiches.
All right, mine. It's your grandma's funeral, and you start to hear noises from the casket. There was a horrible smell coming from it that made you want to puke. You tried to tell everyone, but no one else could hear the silent shrieks and blood-curdling laughs that you could hear coming from the casket.
Wow. A bunch of very scary Halloweeny ones. Okay, and then the last one, which I also did. I swear I saw a ghost in my backyard, but no one will believe me. I've told my entire family and all my friends, but they just keep laughing at me. Now I'm scared it will haunt all of us. And then suddenly I woke up from a dream. Okay,
And
so
that's
all
it.
these So
So
all of these stories were very interesting. Good job, guys. And now that we know what we're doing, like what this format is, we're gonna do the same thing, but with math. So each time you're gonna add one step of the solution to the question. But here's a catch, you can't write any words. So you're gonna have to figure out which method, like substitution, elimination, or something, the people before you were using for the problem. So I'll show you an example in a second. But if you think the previous step is incorrect, then you can write something on a sticky note that says like you think it's wrong, but you can't fix it yourself. So the person after you has to see it and then realize it's wrong, and then they have to fix it. And just so for like this is all for learning, right? So if you see something that you think is wrong, then don't erase it, just indicate that it was wrong and then just write a new line of work. Then, near the end, when you go to your slide or another slide, and the problem in your section, like section 1, 2, 3, it seems to be completed, there's like already an answer, then you can review the work and add a sticky note saying whether you think they did it right or if it's wrong. Okay, now. So, oh no, wrong thing.
So I'll put the link.
So the format should be familiar. And this time, the people on the same slide are solving the same problem. So on slide 1, the person in section 1, 2, and 3, all 3 of those people would be solving this problem about John and his dad. So let me show you a quick example. This is like not right. I'm just making stuff up. So x plus y equals 2. Y equals, I don't know, 3x. So somebody will write equations, then I'll write the equations, then I'll go to the next one. There would be like equations already written. Then I'll add another step to the solution. And let's say I multiplied the second equation by 2. So now I have 2x plus 2y equals 4. And then y equals 3x. Something like this. And then the person that comes after me will add another step. Then let's say they substituted. So 2x plus 2 times 3x equals 4. Again, this is like not the actual problem, I'm just making stuff up. Then you can't keep going. The next person has to come. But let's say you thought this was wrong. Then you can say, I think this is wrong. And put it there. Then you can write like a new one that you think is actually right. So I think it should actually be 2x plus 2 times 4x equals 4. So something like that. And
I thought you said we couldn't use words.
You can only use words when like you think something is wrong. So what I mean by you can't use words is you can't be like, ooh, use substitution for this problem, like something like that. You can't do that. So you're gonna have to figure out what other people were doing and what you're gonna do next. So this adds like an extra challenge since you have to figure out what other people were doing before you and actually solve the problem. So this might be challenging, but try your best, and once all the problems or most of the problems seem pretty complete, we will go over all of them.
All right, so here's the link.
And we had like what, 10 people, I think?
Yeah.
So don't use the last 2 slides. Everybody do it on the first 4. So last 2 slides are off limits right now. So if I was on slide, wait, what happened here?
I put in some blank ones.
Oh, okay. So if I was on slide 4 on the green 3 section, then, oh, I have to go back to the start. So then I would go back to 1 and do the green 3 section here. So like we did before, everybody just write your name in one of the sections so that other people know it's yours. And once it seems like most people have done that, we will actually start. So I only see like 3 people that have put their name on a thing. And I mean, I think there should be more on the Jamboard in the first place. So everybody should be on the Jamboard right now. I'll wait until 3:57 for everybody to choose their slide.
So to be clear, we need to put a sticky note with our name on it.
You can just write in a text box, or you can do a sticky note. It doesn't matter. But I still only see like 3 people, so there should be more.
Come on,
And
guys.
yeah, it will be fun if you actually like participate. I thought the story one was more fun than just doing problems. And this should be more fun than just solving these problems and just us solving it and showing you how to do it. So okay.
Okay, well, if you already have claimed your slide, you can go ahead and start thinking about what the first step might be. So for these problems, the first step would be to try and figure out an equation, 2 equations that represent the situation, right? And then write that. And the rest of you get to picking your slides. Come on, I believe in you. You can do it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter which slide you pick, as long as you just choose one. And like if you don't know, like if you choose a slide and you figure out that you actually don't know how to do it, you can just like privately message me and I'll help you if you don't want to say it in front of everybody else. But in order for this to work, everybody's just gonna have to pick a slide, and you don't have to even put your name. You can just scribble something on it. And thank you to the people that are like participating and trying their best. And once you start writing your equations, you can like delete your scribbles since it'll give you some
I
more.
have a question. On the slide number 1,
Yeah.
slide number 1, I'm number 1. So do I just write that J plus D equals 68?
You can write both of the equations just to
Okay,
start it.
okay.
Yeah. For just the first step, you can do that. Since some of these slides aren't taken, Arnav, if you would be fine with this, could you do the third section of slide 2 instead of the one you're on right now?
What? Can you
Could
repeat that?
Yeah, can you do slide 2 section 3 instead of the 4th slide, because some people aren't doing it and like I want everybody to do the same ones. And then I'm gonna do slide 3, so I'll just put the same thing for each like section, and then Yolanda, you should do.
Oh, am I doing that one?
You don't have to, actually, yeah.
Okay, I can. Yeah, whatever. All right, I love how you guys are using descriptive variable names so that you know which one's which.
Yay.
All right, and then if you're done with the first step, then go to the next slide over and complete the second step there.
If you're on the first slide, I don't know if it's just my laptop being laggy because it seems weird to me. If you are on the first one and there's nothing in your box for the second one, you can like start the problem there too.
Yeah.
So Yolanda, you should do the first one.
Okay, got it. And remember, just put the next step. Don't solve the whole thing.
Yeah, don't go on other people's slide. And I saw some people just messing around with a laser pointer. If you could, please stop. Once you're done, you can go to the next one.
Okay, so we are going to go ahead and go through how to solve these problems. I think we've gotten a good start to most of them. So, for this first problem, John is 24 years younger than his dad, and the sum of their ages is 68 years. How many years old is John? So I can see that Aniket, Shri, and Dheeraj, they used J for John and D for his dad for their variables. And then one of the equations they set up was J plus D equals 68, which is good because the question says the sum of their ages is 68 years. So that would be correct. And then now we have John is 24 years younger than his dad. So D minus 24 equals J. That is also good. And then now you can see in the next step, you can use substitution because one of the equations is like equals J. And then that lets you simply replace J with D minus 24 in the first equation. So you get D minus 24 plus D equals 68. And now what you can do is you can, okay, wait, sorry. So you combine the like terms and then you get D, 2D equals, then if you add 24, please don't do crazy things with the laser pointer, then you add 24 to both sides and you get 2D equals 92. Therefore, D, I think there's some steps skipped in the middle here, but D equals 46. And then that lets you go to this step right here that someone wrote. So because they plugged 46 into this top equation up here. And so J plus 46, which is D, equals 68. Then you can find that John, okay, wait. John, okay, I think there's a slight mistake here because 46 plus 22 would be 68. So John is 22 years old. And that's the answer. Does anyone have any questions for this first one?
It was good though.
Yeah, you guys did a good job with this first one.
Okay, so let's go to the second one. So the equations that were set up for this were a little They're almost there, but they're all missing one thing. So it says a fitness center charges a membership fee plus a fixed amount per day for each day the center is used. If Claire paid $68 for 22 days of use and Adrian paid $71 for 24 days of use, how many dollars is the membership fee? So there's actually two different variables in this problem. It might be hard to see at first, but basically these people are paying a membership fee plus another daily fee that they pay for every day they go to the center. So this means that I have to have one variable for the membership fee. I'm going to make it M. I'm just going to use this little section right here. And another variable, I'm going to use D for the price per each day. If you guys could stop it with the distracting things, that would be nice. And we want this class to be like not too strict and pretty fun, but still like we can't have everybody just be goofing around all the time. So we do need to we do want to ask you to like I guess help us and cooperate a bit more. So this is the fee per day. Okay, so now I'm gonna set up equations. So for Claire, she paid $68 for 22 days of use. So 22 times D, plus I can't forget about the membership fee. That made her pay $68. Then for Adrian, he used it for 24 days. Then he also paid the membership fee. So then he got 71. So now I'm just gonna use elimination to solve this. So let's go over here since I don't have space. So I'm gonna subtract these equations from each other like this. So negative 2D equals negative 3. Wait, is that right? Yeah. Okay. So then it would be D equals 3 over 2. Now, this is asking how many dollars is the membership fee. So I'm just going to plug this back into one of the equations. I'm going to do the first one. So 22 times 3 over 2 plus m, which is what we're trying to find, is 68. 33 plus m equals 68. So m must be 35. So they have to pay $35 just for the membership. Okay, let's go to the next one.
Okay, lovely. So the question is, in a farm consisting of only horses and chickens, there are 146 total feet. And there are 50 animals total. So the question asks, how many horses are there? So the equations that I set up here, so we have H representing horses and C representing chickens. The number of horses and the number of chickens, I should specify. And so H plus C is going to equal 50 because there's 50 total animals. And now for the other half of this problem, which is the feet part. We know that horses have 4 feet and chickens have 2 feet. Or hopefully you know that at least. So you can say 4 times H, which is the number of horses, plus 2 times C, the number of chickens, equals the total number of feet, which will be 146. And so now, one method, probably the easiest method for this problem would be elimination. So as you can see, to get from this to this, you just multiplied this equation by 2. And since you multiplied it by 2 on both sides, it remains equal. So you can totally do that. And then now you would subtract these equations. So 4h minus 2h equals 2h. 2c minus 2c gets canceled out. And 146 minus 100 is just 46. Now you have 2h equals 46, so h equals 23. And the question asks for how many horses there are. H is the number of horses, so we don't have to do any other steps for this problem.
Great, okay. Now, so I guess this will be the last one we go over here, and we can move to, well, no, I don't think we'll have that much time for the Kahoot. So after this, we'll just show you how to do the rest of these. Okay. So Billy is 1/5 of his brother's age. In 9 years, Billy will be half of his brother's age. What is the sum of their current age in years? So these type of problems can be pretty confusing, but first, I did this one. I made Billy's age B and his brother's age A. So right now, Billy is 1/5 of his brother's age. Okay? In 9 years, Billy will be half of his brother's age. So that means in 9 years, so Billy's age right now plus 9, that is equal to half of, I can't forget the plus 9 here. His brother's also going to be 9 years older. So half of his brother's age 9 years from now. So now I have these two equations. And for this one, it looks like somebody... I don't really know what's going on here. But I guess I can just solve it then.
They
So,
multiplied both sides by 2, right?
oh, here?
Yeah.
But I don't see why you would do that.
Yeah.
It's not be solved, so yeah.
It doesn't really
Uh,
help.
So this one isn't the best step. I mean, you could still keep going after that, but a more efficient way would be, let's just do substitution. So b is 1/5 a plus 9 equals 1/2 of a plus 9. Okay, now I'm just gonna solve. So I'm just gonna multiply everything by 10 to try and get rid of the fraction since we don't like fractions. So if I multiply everything by 10, actually I don't do that. So I'll just write it here, times 10, times 10. Then I'll have 2a plus 90 equals 5 times a plus 9. So it'd be 5a plus 45 here, and then 2a plus 90. I'm just going to solve now, pretty simple. 3a equals 45. So a must equal 15. So, but I'm asked for the sum of their current ages. So I need both of their ages. So I can put the 15 back into the first equation. So 1/5 of 15 is 3. So 3 plus 15 is 18. So 18 is our answer. Okay, something was weird. So Yolanda, do you want to do the next one?
Sure thing. Okay, mine's making me reload too. Interesting. So, a fuel tanker weighs 2,500 tons when 25% full and 3,700 tons when 75% full. So what is the weight in tons when empty? Okay, so basically we have the weight of the truck, which we can just call T, plus the fuel tanker, right? So, sorry, like the weight of the capacity of fuel. So we can just call that F, and then that equals, so that's one of the equations we can write. And then we also have T plus 0.75 F equals 3,700. So T is just going to be what this tanker is when it's empty. And then F is the weight of the fuel. And so now you can use elimination. So I'm just gonna move one of them to the top. Oops. Okay. Like this. And then we can just subtract them. So then that would get you, that would cancel out T, and then that gets you 0.5 F equals 1,200. So therefore F equals F equals 2,400. And then now you can solve for what T equals. So T plus 0.25 F equals 2,500, right? And then, so T plus 600 equals 2,500. T equals 1,900. So the weight of the tinker when it's empty is going to be 1,900.
So does anybody have any questions? If not, we will end our class here today, since it's
I have one
4:27.
So technically, what you did was you found the difference between 75% and 25%, which was 1,200. And then what did you do after that?
Okay.
So, after that, like, so you got to this part, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now here I just divided, well, Yolanda divided both sides by 0.5, which gave us that F equals 2,400. And then using that information, we solved for T by plugging this back into this equation.
Okay, thank you.
Good question, thanks. Okay,
Right.
so if nobody else has any more questions, then don't forget to do your homework. And really thank you to the people that actually participated.
You guys
We'll
are
give you
awesome.
extra points in the standing thing. Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, don't forget your homework. Have a great week.
Bye.
And come back next time. Bye. Okay, I moved into the lobby.
All right.
Oh,
Stop
I
the
should stop recording.